Hi guys, අද මම කතා කරන්න යන්නේ networking සම්බන්ධව තියෙන advantages සම්බන්ධව පොඩි දැනුම් දීමක් සහ මේ public forums වලට යන එකේ තියෙන වැදගත්කම. විශේෂයෙන් මේ වීඩියෝ එකේ මට හම්බුණා invitation එකක් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට දකි coil leadership forum 2023 වල නොවැම්බර් තමයි තියෙන්නේ ටාජ් සමුද්‍රයකේ. එතකොට smart casual coil කියන chamber of young entrepreneurs ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ කියන ලංකාවේ තනු ව්‍යවසායකයන්ගේ සංගමය සංවිධානය කරන මේ වටිනා coil leadership forum 2023. වැඩි විස්තර coil එක සම්බන්ධව ඒ වෙබ්සයිට් එකට ගියාම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. මේකේ ලංකාවේ හොඳම ව්‍යාපාරිකයෝ ටික තමයි ඉන්නේ. රයිට්. ඉතින් මම මේ ඉවෙන්ට් එකට ගියා. අපි යන් බලන්න.
මම එළේ ටාච් එකට අපි යන් බලන්න ඇතුළට මේ කොහොමද ඉවෙන්ට් එක සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ කියලා යන් මාත් එක්ක.
ඒ වගේ මේ ඉවෙන්ට් එකේ ඉතාමත් වටිනා ව්‍යාපාරික තුන්දෙනෙක් කතා කරනවා ඒගොල්ලෝගේ සක්සස් ස්ටෝරිස් ගැන. ඒකත් අහන තමයි ඒ බලාපොරොත්තුෙන් තමයි මම මේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකට යන්නේ. 7500 තියෙනවා. then followed by cocktails and networking. මේවා වැදගත් ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ යන ව්‍යාපාරයක් සාර්ථක කරගන්න. top notch ව්‍යාපාරිකයෝ හම්බෙලා ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ networking වැඩි දියුණු කරගන්න හොඳම අවස්ථාවක්. ඔයගොල්ලෝ පේන ගොඩක් අය කලින් ඉවෙන්ට් එකට ඉස්සලා ඇවිල්ලා network කරනවා, අවශ්‍ය refreshments ගන්නවා. ඊට පස්සේ ඉවෙන්ට් එක පටන් ගන්න. එතකොට විශේෂයෙන් 98 acres hotel එකේ ඕන එයා කතා කරනවා එයාගේ සක්සස් ස්ටෝරිය කොහොමද එයා එතනට මේ හොටෙල් එක ගෙනාවේ, ඇල්ල ප්‍රදේශයේ සාර්ථක කරේ කොහොමද, එවැනි දේවල් වටිනා දේවල් ගොඩක් මේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකේ කතා කරනවා. සහ තව ව්‍යාපාරික දෙන්නෙක් ඒගොල්ලෝගේ සක්සස් ස්ටෝරිස් ගැන කතා කරනවා. ඉතින් අපි යන් ඒක බලන්න. ඒතර අපි මිස්ටර් චාමර්ගේ සක්සස් ස්ටෝරි ගැන අහමු. කොහොමද මේ 90 acres පටන් ගත්තේ?
When who comes to Sri Lanka wants to visit Thailand. It's my hometown. I went to school there. My father started a small tea factory back in the 1990s. He's a tea man. He loves tea. So all three brothers were brought up with tea. That small tea factory is now one of the largest tea factories in the region. During this time, the factory was only selling tea through the auction almost every month. We started 98 acres with 15 employees in 2012, and we are proud to say that our team has grown to more than 500 in the UHG group leisure sector. And the estate that we were going to sell for 50 million rupees is now worth more than $50 million. In closing, I would love to share a few thoughts with you guys. Never be afraid to do new things. If you don't have the experience or the knowledge, find someone who does and work with them and learn from them. And surround yourself with trusted people. And I think this is a super opportunity to say a big thank you to my two brothers, my family, and all my staff members for making 98 acres and Flying Ramana a global brand. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
While caring for the planet, his passion for innovation and advocating.
මම මේ දේවල් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ෂෙයා කරන්නේ හුඟක් වටිනා මේ ව්‍යාපාරිකයන්ගේ අදහස් ගැන දල වශයෙන් සම්පූර්ණ නෙමෙයි පොඩි ප්‍රමාණයක් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ගන්න. ඒ වගේම අර්ථ කරනවා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මේ වගේ public forums leadership forums වල සහභාගී වෙලා පොඩ්ඩක් sharp කරගන්න ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ skills සහ networking. right. අපි යන් ඊටු ටික බලන්න.
31st December 2010. I moved back to Sri Lanka after working as an application support engineer at Thomson Reuters in New York. The plan, the grand plan, work with my father, get an understanding for business, get a feel for it, do my GMAT, and then get in, hopefully, to Columbia or Stern for my MBA. Now, my father's company was small at the time. It was a team of 5. So I joined in as a medical sales rep. Too risky, despite commercial merits and despite the fact that it was essential for the healthcare services. Thankfully, my wife, who is there, she believed in my crazy idea, backed me all the way, no hesitation whatsoever. We mortgaged her land, our home today, to get the funds needed. So, wait. Actually, I'm going to stop the speech. As a sidebar, to all of our kind sponsors in TB, I know there are some other banks out here, in this economic crisis, we talk about youth entrepreneurship being key in driving this economy forward. The biggest stumbling block that youth entrepreneurs have is access
to project-based financing. Now you all that are seated here from the banking world, you hold the key to changing this. And I hope you do.
In the domain of healthcare, a new era unfolds. Praveen Wickramasinghe is compassionate and committed to healing, eager to guide his medical enterprise into the future. Praveen, the torchbearer of a family's medical legacy, is driven by a deep-rooted commitment.
We are talking about a bouncer must be chucking drunk people every night. But in reality, it's about customer care, conflict management, and how to give leadership in unavoidable circumstances. I mean, I can talk about the days of a bouncer for hours and hours, but there's one story I'd like to touch with you guys today. It's when I was 19, my first colleague, his name was Sasha, ex-Soviet Union, exiled from the Soviet Union because he got married to a Scottish girl, judo coach by day, and door supervisor by night. So while I was a bouncer, I also was trading the stock market. And for those who remembered, post-war 2009-2010, people were making millions and billions of rupees. And I was also part of that. So for example, an average Thursday would be I start my night shifts at 9, and then start trading till 9 a.m. in the morning, and then go for lectures. So there were days I made $1 million, and I was proud as a peacock. Edinburgh weather doesn't help, and everyone's like, am I on some kind of a drug? But at the same time, there were days I lost $1 million, and the sadness was unbearable. So trading taught me a lot. Main thing is discipline. Discipline, discipline. Especially when you're running a portfolio, it's absolutely critical. And then also not to be too greedy. So these experiences molded me to become who I am. And my father, who's in the audience, sees this and invites me to join the board of directors at Road Hospital. I wasn't interested in healthcare.
So once again I'm rephrasing why I'm sharing this is for you to get an understanding of why you should attend to this public leadership forums like this, and the advantage of networking as well as grooming yourself to be a successful entrepreneur. Everything you need to attend these kind of forums. So you might be in Dubai or Australia or Singapore. So if you're in Sri Lanka, you're lucky you can come for these forums. Otherwise, if you're overseas, whatever forums online or in those countries, if there are some forums, try to attend.
I'm in bad situation. What do they say when there's blood in the street by real estate? So, I think this is the perfect opportunity to start businesses.
I would like to jump in. Yeah, each of you can have a question. The private sector has enjoyed historically low tax rates, low VAT, etc.
So don't get started on that because that cost us
we are part of the
billion hole in our revenue. I'm just teasing it.
We are part of the problem. I think the private sector has been part of the problem. So this is just a rectification period.
South Asia, and what better place than Sri Lanka to start those ecosystems and then expand towards those regional networks. I mean, I've been in the startup ecosystem for the last 5 to 10 years, and it's been challenging. I think one of my partners are also here. He would explain more about how to do business here. It's been tough, but at the same time, we see so much of development happening, and let's face it, let's restructure this country. In the next couple of years, I think there's going to be a tremendous boom. And I'm optimistic, of course, more than an average person, but I believe this is the best place I want to be.
The business. We don't go into the day-to-day operations. They run the business as their own. So we have given them authority to run their business as their own. All these small businesses that we have, so we have key people running the whole businesses. So I think that's something that we did right from the beginning. So they have a sense of ownership of the business. And the other thing is we have the time to think about new things.
මේ ෆෝරම් එකේ තව ඇඩ්වාන්ටේජ් එකක් තිබ්බ දෙයක් තමයි මේ ඉන්දියා බිස්නස් සර්කල් එකට ජොයින් වෙන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා ඉන්දියන් බිස්නස් එක්කෙනෙක් කතා කරපු එක අපි ඒ ගැන දැන් අහමු.
Let me share a disruption which happened in my life and which happened without a notice, which completely changed my life and that was the inflection point in mine. I'm leading a life of an investment banker with Citigroup for a large part of my life. And actually it's over 3.5 decades now that this entire experience is 2023. Are you noticing what is happening?